You guys grew up together.
Since third grade.
What are you looking at?
I'm not
We're not
looking
good
at
enough for
anything.
you.
Huh? You must be supermodels. What do you model, gloves?
Brad, eat a Snickers.
What?
Because you get a little angry when you're hungry. Better?
You're not you when you're hungry.
Better.
Snickers really satisfies.
Mama.
Hello and welcome back everybody to coverage of the Intel Extreme Masters World Championships here from Germany. My name of course is Page Time. We've got our last few matches of the night coming up here. LG Incredible Miracle on the left for this best of one here up against Millennium, and both teams here kind of in the middle of the pack here in Group A, looking to get up and hopefully claim what looks to be spots 2 and 3, because I'm pretty sure Gambit Gaming are uncatchable at this point with a still undefeated record as they're playing their other game as well. Of course, I am not alone in this adventure. I am joined by Papa Smithy, my fellow Australian. It is getting late for us over here in Australia, but we've still got plenty of awesome League of Legends to bring you all, guys. Papa, how you doing, man?
Doing fantastically, Pastry. I had a energy drink about an hour ago and it's kicked in, so I'm awake. But I'm worried about you because it's good morning time, isn't it? 2 a.m. over in Sydney.
Good morning, everybody. Yes, it is 2 a.m. here in Sydney, but we'll get it going. Only 2 games left. I'm sure I can power through, and then delicious sleep will come, and we'll do it all again. We're going to have day 2 of the B stream here for the Intel Extreme Masters. It's been an awesome night slash morning slash whatever's going on so far, and can't wait for more great games tomorrow. But of course, until we get to those, or before we get to those, we've got these great games as well. The bands here for LGIM, Wukong, Kha'Zix, and Shen going to start things off. Thresh and Xinjiao on the Millennium side, and last but not least, Papa. I heard you gasp there. What do you think is going to happen here for our final band?
It's a good question. I mean, we haven't actually been able to see LGM. Unfortunately, we had a game cruelly taken away from us. But Mid King, I mean, got a pentakill on Rise last game, so it's a champion that isn't usually banned because counter-pickable, but maybe they want to go with it. No, it's the Twisted Fate.
Twisted Fate, a good ban here as well. Again, we do cast a lot of the Asian region, Korean teams, the Chinese, Taiwan, whatever you want, but they're very strong and they do love their Twisted Fate, so makes a lot of sense here to get that one banned out of the way. And LGIM, they've got a lot of choices here.
It's interesting that we see confirmed from our speculation earlier that a Lilac's now moved to the jungle. We have the new member Smeb up top. A Lilac definitely becoming much like his former teammate from his brief stint on CLG Chaucer in terms of going from top lane to support, now in the jungle. He's a very flexible player, and it's Jarvan the 4th, ostensibly for Lilac, the pickup here.
Yeah, I mean, there's Kale open. There's, I mean, that's the kind of the biggest pick to me that sticks out. I'm trying to think. I mean, Shen's actually not open. Excuse me. He's got banned out. But I mean, I always get suspicious when they leave Kale open, because especially on this patch, he's just so powerful. I mean, they have banned a couple of champions here. I mean, Zed is also available, which we have seen some teams really value. But I mean, the bans here are kind of funky. I mean, Wukong's a ban out here against Tabs. We saw him play that. Thresh here is a pretty popular ban here at this tournament, so that one's not too surprising. But Kale could even go later here in this draft, or maybe not at all. We're going to have Sona and MF here for Millennium.
It's just so almost unthinkable for Kale to get through so far into the picks and bans, just because, especially at this 3.02 patch level, she pushes well, she's really safe champion in mid. She can push, she can cause lane pressure, she can be played in the jungle. I'm So Fresh, known for his jungle Kale. Angus has played Kale up top. Such a flexible champion. Almost never a downside to picking her just because of how many roles she can do and how many things she does well. She has the utility and damage, especially with the 10% bonus damage still in this patch. To see her fall through further, big surprise.
Yeah, can work quite nicely with Jarvan as well, which we have seen before. And okay, I was going to say my other favorite combination that combos there is actually Rumble, and Rumble Jarvan is something that I've grown to love just so much, just unbelievably much. It's a combination of Jarvan's great gap closes, where he can close a lot of distance and get in there and really CC somebody, with Rumble's just insanely long range initiation. Or setup.
I believe it was World Elite versus TPS where we saw Rumble, Jarvan, Kale was the pickup there, where God JJ's Twitch on the Type A snipers just had no answer to the amount of magic damage and gap close to be able to, and obviously the intervention on top to be able to get guaranteed damage on that Twitch. You want to be at the back doing as much damage as possible. And Varus cut from the same cloth as Twitch when it comes to dealing damage out the back.
Would also be a second AD carry, which we have seen from Millennium already, but Diana is going to go in here with Lee Sin by the looks of things, and that's going to have a lot of dive. Nope, never mind.
Or not.
Tabs, always the one to bring out the crazy. Looks like it could be AP Tryndamere here.
It's going to be AP Tryndamere.
No questions? Okay. I guess it could be Jungle Tryndamere.
It could be a lot of things Page Time, but it's going to be AP Tryndamere.
Okay. And it is unnerfed on this patch as well. Ooh, Nami makes an appearance. I believe she had a big impact on the last game.
Lasha played it to mass, and the funny thing is, she's strongest in much a similar role as Alistair against that Misfortune. Misfortune wants to be at the back of a team fight, channel her ultimate, and the tidal wave, it just completely ruins the timing on that.
Yeah, looks like Lasha's thinking about it. He wants to go back to Nami. Jace is locked in here for LGIM, so if they want to go for Nami as their support, then that's it. I'm honestly very surprised to still see Kayle go through. I mean, Millennium could last pick it here if they want. They know the matchup now. But I'm surprised that Incredible Miracle haven't picked it here. Because again, it synergizes so well with Java and Rumble. It's just generally a good pick. And it almost feels like Jace is... Because we've seen Jace against Kayle before, it almost feels like it's a safe pick against her because he can stay at range and just farm. Kind of like Tabs' Karthus did in the last game when Millennium did play up against Kayle. So... Oh, man.
Now this would throw a wrench in the works.
It would. It would also be very awesome and make all the Tabs fans very, very happy. And there it is. Okay, so I don't know what Millennium are planning here, but they clearly want to be the creative team of this tournament because they picked Tryndamere like, alright, AP Tryndamere. Alright, Tabs.
I mean, AP Tryndamere is not locked into the mid lane. We did, of course, see Voyboy to mixed success bring out AP Tryndamere at the LCS.
I mean, it might not even make it... Okay, I don't even know what's going on anymore. Millennium are doing...
Those summoner spells tell me that... well, actually, I've seen Tryndamere's run the same summon spells, but that is definitely the Fizz special for Tabs.
Yeah, and I mean, really, when you think of the champion Fizz at a high level, everybody thinks of the same guy. And it's him right there. It's Tabs. Everybody thinks of Millennium Tabs. He is the Fizz player.
And maybe he just felt that he couldn't, potentially leave the IEM World Championship without showing his wares on his favorite champion.
Yeah, I mean, you're right. If there was ever a time to pick it, you might as well pick it now. But he's going to be running the fish, which leaves... I don't know what Anguish is going to do. I don't think he's going to play AP Trynd, but he might. It is playable top, so I guess you could play it.
We'll just check the AP values. I mean, AP Tryndamere's always want to get the flat AP Quints at the very least, just because in the early levels the flat heal from the Q ability isn't very high, but the AP ratio, the 1.5 AP ratio that's much talked about, means that, I mean, even back in the day, a long time ago, when Tree Eskimo was playing top lane and Tryndamere was still viable, even though he was going AD Tryndamere, he would run the AP Quints there just because the scaling helps Tryndamere out so much early game.
And by the way, Tabs changed his summoner spell at the last minute. It's not...
Okay, Anguish has just gone and been a complete strange person and picked up a Doran's Ring here, which, as we all know, Tryndamere doesn't use much mana pastry time.
He has 40 flat AP at level 1. Alright, so Millennium...
I feel trolled.
Yeah, Millennium...
Is this the test game?
Yes. Yes, it is. This is the test game we waited like 30 minutes for during the break. I don't know what's going on. I do know that Mid King looks very dapper as Debonair Jace. I can tell you that much. Lilac here setting up, spotting off what's going on here. Millennium just very quickly banding together here, putting down some early wards. That pink ward there goes into that brush. Going to be able to give them a nice bit of vision near the area to the enemy Wraith camp. But I don't know what's going on anymore. I mean, it's kind of rude or mean that they're doing this to me because it's late and, I have to think about these things, but I don't know what Millennium's plan is. They picked a lot of strong laners and they've got a very strong jungler who can gank early. So I have a funny feeling Millennium are just trying to play to win these lanes here, but I guess it's hard for me not to be excited about these champs because they're pretty cool. And again, I have no idea what Tabs' summoner spells are doing. He's got Ignite and Teleport. And
that's actually his new standby, just because he loves to rush those home guard Sork shoes, and then just Fizz ganks with that is just with the Teleport is just silly.
Yeah, so Cloth 5 starting here for Tabs. He obviously knows he's in the mid lane up against Jace presumably, so doesn't want to have to deal with any of that. Fizz actually gets, he's actually not bad against ADs in the mid. That's kind of...
Well, he's going to be potentially even against a 1v2 here, depending on what Lash is doing.
Even that would be okay. I mean, he would have some trouble. He would probably have to wait to the minions pushed in to really farm, but his passive actually reduces physical damage as well, I think. I think it's specifically basic attacks, actually.
It's very low at early levels, but you're right, it's a Ninja Tabby-like effect.
So... Yeah, it looks like it is going to be 2v1 here, so Tabs is like, well, this is not what I planned for.
And that's kind of the reason why you don't see as much Fizz. Fizz is so strong in many 1v1 lanes. Only really Darius kind of dunks. Well, you know,
Literally
unintended.
dunks, yeah.
Literally dunks Fizz. But, oh, as we see a skirmish.
Oh man, Fat Mama, what are you doing there? Flash out of the way there. I'm so fresh. I come in, exhaust that onto Lilac. Exhaust returned there onto Lee Sin. And just lots of damage being exchanged. Creaton up here as well. Millennium getting frisky early on. There's a give from I'm so fresh. He goes in onto Lilac. Follows up with Tempest Cripple. Red Buff Lee in there as well. Double up not quite hitting there properly. Only hit one person instead of the possible two. Would have got bonus damage on the squishier target there as well. But there's now 4 people mid against Slasher and Paragon. I think Millennium were looking to maybe make a lane swap early on here. It looks like they have actually swapped over. Fizz actually, yes, he's teleported down the bottom. Metabzo, he's really bitten off a little bit too much. I don't know why he tallied down the bottom with that little health. But Mid King collects that kill and blue buff as well by the looks of things.
He already had blue.
Oh, he already had blue?
started
Okay.
level 2 with blue.
Okay. I was going to say, I don't think you got blue off Fizz, so that would make sense. But, yeah, I don't know what Tabs was thinking with that teleport, because he literally teleported to his doom there. He wasted his summon spell and got himself killed. And Mid King has
He's
got to be
level
thinking,
1 at 3.5 minutes base time.
this is not the Fizz we have known Tabs for, that's for sure. But yeah, he's going to struggle here. I mean, they've made the lane swap, but the damage has kind of already been done here.
And look at Jarvan. He's considering an invade and even potentially a turret dive on the level 1 Fizz, which would... You don't come back from that very easy.
I'm so fresh, chunking the damage out there onto Lilac. Mid King, thankfully, comes in as reinforcement. So it was able to prevent I'm so fresh from going on. A lot of damage, though, done to Lilac as well. It's actually out of potions. Lee Sin, I think, has... Is that 6? That looks suspiciously like a number 6. And Tryndamere looks like he's gone back as well. Didn't have enough AP, apparently. So Amplifying Tome now added into the mix. And a health potion.
I'm still incredulous that he started Doran's Ring.
It's pretty manly. I mean, if he really wants to trade, I guess he needs the health as well. I mean, obviously the mana regen doesn't do anything. I don't know.
The passive also doesn't do anything.
No. Yeah,
I don't know. We've been outplayed, pastry time.
Yeah, I mean, Anguish is this is too many levels for us to think ahead of right now. So I'm too fresh down the bottom. Gonna give up on this gank. He really wants to help Tabs out if he can, but as I said, level 5 to level 3 here in the bottom lane in the 1v1. Damage really has been done to poor Fizz, and Tabs is just gonna try and collect as much farm as he can. So swaps here.
Looking around the lanes, up top, we have a 14 CS advantage early for Rumble here, so obviously liking that lane against the Doran's Ring Tryndamere.
Yeah, I mean, what do you think Anguish would normally start if he was going to play AP Trend in this lane? I think just...
I think you just have to kind of spam pots, you know, the 9-pot 2 ward situation.
Yeah.
You want to start with a lot of flood AP. In mid lane, if you're feeling really, really confident, you can start amplifying Tome a pot, but, you know, it's just so greedy, and then Doran's Ring is some sort of greed, so... Look, if it works out, you feel great, because you started with a complete arm, you haven't spent any money on regen stats.
Yeah, Anguish here. Getting baited a little by Smeb. Lilac is hanging out. Level 3 actually, so Lilac needs to get his farm on. Although both junglers are actually kind of low. I'm so fresh is about to hit level 4 after he clears out the big golem. Lilac is camping up in the top. He really wants his kill for Rumble. And he may get it. There he is, the flag toss, but spinning slash out there from Anguish. Gonna keep him safe, but now I'm so fresh comes in, mocking shout out as well. Lilac jumped on there by I'm so fresh, who is level 4, but Anguish gets turned around on Smeb, picks up the kill there, and so Lilac's gonna be able to walk out of it as well. So Rumble's damage far too good. Equalizer out there, beautifully placed by Smeb, and Lee Sin. Few electro harpoons go out. Smeb tanks the last few turret hits. They can't quite get the kill onto I'm so fresh, but they will push though as a result, and very close to a very clean double kill there in the top lane for LGIM.
I guess the only person who's relieved by this series of events is Tabs, because he sees Lilac up top, knows he doesn't have to worry about jungle pressure, gone back and picked up the uber cost-effective Seeker's Arm Guard, which serves him fantastically in this lane, and transitions, of course, late game into that AP core of Zhonya's Hourglass.
I'm so fresh is collecting experience for the most part. Didn't want to get too close in case he got dived, but level 5 now for Lee Sin, as Anguish rejoins the lane with a Fiendish Codex now. Likely building up towards a pretty fast Naturals too. Kind of funny to not see Tring without boots, but I guess if he has Ghost and Spinning Slash, he's not too worried. Despite not being able to get out of situations. Just trades in the mid right now. Creaton taking a little bit of damage, but both ADs pretty low on both health and mana. And looks like supports might recall here. I have to say Lasher probably wants to stay here because when people hit 6, things could hit the fan.
And I think actually this mid lane situation, having the AD carries mid, actually benefits LGIM more than Millennium, just because in a short lane, Misfortune's bullying factor on Caitlyn doesn't come as apparently, and the one criticism of Nami is that her lane presence, especially early, can sometimes be a bit underwhelming, and of course Sona, a massive poker early game.
Oh, Lilac here coming in, but Anguish roaming through as well. And LGIM, I kind of want to back off here. Lilac getting quite low as the double up comes up from Creaton. Fields of a Peacemaker clips Misfortune there. No ultimate available. No, it is actually for Paragon. He just wants to line it up right, but he's pretty sure that someone's going to block it. So just doesn't waste the cooldown. Just keeps going. Farms away.
So if you get a free laning phase, and you know the mid to late game team fights, anyone watching the A stream has seen the strength of Nami in those fights, especially the tidal wave. So I'll give it to LJM here. They've managed to navigate laning phase with a Nami against a Sona very well.
Yeah, and I mean top lane is obviously going well with a kill already happening in there. Smeb's just happily farming here against AP Trinity, who doesn't really seem to be able to handle this rumble, unfortunately. I mean, when you think about how they trade damage, it kind of makes sense, but I don't know. AP Trinity is definitely not for his sustain, but it's still not enough here against Smeb.
And it will, you know, this lane matchup eventually will break down. Of course, Rumble, a fantastic team fighter. AP Trin, you know, he can team fight. You know, you can also go. I was watching, I believe it was Someday. I mean, Monte Cristo might correct me. From Katie Rolls to B, who went Nationals into Infinity Edge Tryndamere, which, you know, very much a hybrid Tryndamere, and managed to team fight with that. So, a flexible champion, Tryndamere.
Yeah, Lilac thinking about a dragon still here. I'm surprised actually very low. Tanking the dragon a little too long. Gonna have to back off as IEM move in. I mean, bottom lane as well is also not going well for Millennium, unfortunately, as Tabs found himself in a very awkward spot here against Mid King, who's just jumping straight onto him. Now there's Chum the Waters are coming out from Tabs. Huge damage out here from Fizz right now, and a beautiful bit of play here might get the kill. There's the Urchin Strike. And Tabs, despite being behind all lane after he got himself killed, completely outplays Mid King there.
The power of Tab's Fizz. I mean, Fizz is a 1v1 champion, a fiercely 1v1 champion. As I was saying earlier, you know, no Darius is pleased, but otherwise he's super, super happy to trade. And, you know, he was well held. It was looking like a panic in terms of laning, but it's all been uphill once he picked up the Seeker's Arm Guard.
And that bit of gold is really going to help him here. If he could start really bullying Mid King, then he can open up a bit more space in the lane for himself and start getting the farm going. Maybe even start to roam, which is, I'm sure is what he'd love to do. Get a few kills there. One well-placed Fizzle can really change a lot of things in a gank or even in a team fight. And Tabs is, as we've said, one of the best Fizz players. Paragon here getting bullied pretty hard by these double ups, I have to say. He's one well-placed bullet time or a CC away from getting himself killed. And looks like Millennium is going to convert all this pressure into a dragon here. At least
I feel like Chum the Waters is one of the most underappreciated ultimates, just because... Oh wow, as we do see a fight going on here.
Yeah, Smeb goes down there actually. And Ace in the Hole coming out for Fat Mama, but blocked out by Creaton. There's a bubble just missing in there from Nami. And there's Dragon going out as well. So Millennium picking up a couple more advantages. Mid King trapped in here as well. I'm so fresh. Pretty low. Will dodge a great kick there, but it's not enough. Thankfully, though, does give Tabs the kill. In fact, I think, yes, he even stole blue buff there. So able to refresh that for himself as well. Tabs, despite almost gimping himself in this lane. It's almost like a very elegant mind game or something. Because he's managed to really make up the difference here.
And the reason why like Chum the Waters is kind of deceptive is it's a 1 AP ratio scaling burst ability. We all know that, but the moment it leashes onto a target, 50 to 70% is the first slow. You know, while the fish is channeling, then you're knocked up, and then there's another 1.5 seconds 70% slow afterwards, which is just so much CC on a single champion. Like, you can't position against it. You can drop it with QSS. You can't cleanse it. It's really, really strong. Obviously, people can block it. Obviously, in a team fight, it's a skill shot you have to hit. But when it goes right, it goes real right.
Yeah, and I think he's doing the playful trickster max here, which I believe is the standard on Fizz at this point.
In mid lane, definitely. He's definitely a proponent of the Playful Tricks to max into the Urchin Strike and Sea Stone Trident last.
Because that's for, you get like the, if you hit with both right, you get double damage essentially on that. Oh man, Lusher here is in a world of pain. Good Aqua Prison though, but I'm so fresh following up. Tabs there with a blue buff, very low cooldown on Playful Trickster, and it's going to dive in there with the Urchin Strike. Now on a killing spree, so completely turned around his fortunes here in lane. And a very, very, very tricky gank there by I'm So Fresh and Tabs. Playful Trickster over the ridge, Lee Sin safeguard with them, and Lusher just completely caught off guard there, gets picked off.
Someone in chat asking about the QSS interaction with Fish. It was patched very early, I believe the second patch after Fizz came out. When you QSS, it drops it on the floor. Someone else can pick it up. You could run back and pick it up again, but it is dropped on the floor.
Yeah, it just gets dropped. So it's still there. The fish still comes out, mind you. It comes out wherever it gets dropped. But
you can't keep that fish down.
no, you can't dispel it. But
Mid King here, again, in a bit of a world of pain. Going to probably be a kill trade.
yeah,
Or
Angus,
not.
no, Smed picks it up. Good coverage there from Rumble. And Mid King's like, I'll take blue now. This sounds good. Just keep me away from that darn fish. It's that red buff here. Looking pretty juicy for Millennium, but Lilac manages to secure it. And now Fizz is much, much scarier.
Just going back here with 975 gold. Probably going to pick up the Sork Shoes. No, blasting one. He wants that quick Lich Bane. Lich Bane, a fantastic pickup on Fizz because it instantly procs on your Q, so just more burst damage.
Yep, and it's so insane how much burst he does, because it implies Sea Stone Trident as well, does Urchin Strike does anyway, so you get kind of the double crazy burst, and then the dot, and then he hits you with his ultimate, and then you die.
Fizz is just a skirmishing king. If you're skirmishing 2v2, 3v3, he will turn a skirmish. It's late game where the tanks position while people peel, that he starts to fall off a little bit.
Yeah, there's actually a very cool interaction with Fizz and Murumana, but I think it's probably too gimmicky to be effective. But his Q does proc Murumana twice, which is kind of cool.
He does charge, yeah, he charges it, the tier very slow, so I guess that's why you don't see it.
because your best skill for doing it is also your gap closer and your main damage spell. Yeah, it's a little awkward, but if you can get there, it's pretty cool. You just get two interactions of his Q, because it applies as a spell and an attack, essentially.
Interesting, I didn't know that.
Yeah, I read about it, and I was like, I have to test this, and I did.
So then you went in a custom game, spent an hour charging the tier.
Correct. And then it is, I can confirm it does proc twice on his Q. All that hard-earned research to tell you that one thing during this game where Tabs is playing Fizz and is not even building Murumana.
So the split push is on here, which to be expected from Tryndamere.
Yeah, he's chilling up on the top lane. Anguish just doing what he can. The rest of Millennium coming in. I'm So Fresh, going pretty deep, but a bit of harass, so he just safeguards back towards Misfortune. Tabs with one ultimate here, especially on a key target. If he fishes somebody, it's usually a world.
I think he'll take either Lasher or Paragon at this point. Actually, to be fair, Mid King as well.
Oh, Anguish. Speaking of Mid King, he's going to come up and try and cut off this Tryndamere. Lasher in there as well. There's the bubble coming out. The Undying Rage gets procced though. He's spinning slashes over the wall, but Smeb's ready to chase him. And Mid King had it covered as well there with Acceleration Gate Shock Blast. So sadly, Tryndamere not getting out of that one. He's known for being pretty slippery and damn irritating when it comes to split pushes, but Anguish is getting kind of shut down here in that regard. He did a little bit of damage to the tower up in top lane. Actually got it pretty low, down to below half health, but still has to work on that, I think. And I guess if that's Millennium's game plan, then they're going to have to pressure a lot harder in the other lanes, because Anguish just got completely cut off there, and there's the Equalizer going off as well. Lilac going very deep there, catches two in the Cataclysm, and Smeb instantly bursts them down as Jace gets up the other kill. So the duel in there for Millennium goes down very quickly to LGIM as they pick up both Sona and Misfortune. And there's the shot coming up. Fizz wants to pick up Mid King if he can. The burst comes out there from Chum the Waters, but Mid King able to dodge out of there in time by flashing his way out. Anguish now in there as well, but feeling a little bit unsafe there. Fizz going very deep in there, but a great exhaust there onto Tabs. That's going to deny that kill there. It was very close as well with all the bursts. Smeb gets a kill there as well onto Tryndamere, who does not have his ultimate at that point. And LGIM, I mean, Fizz looked like he was going to make all these awesome things happen, and Anguish was, you know, setting up for the split push, but LGIM with a very clear message here.
Well, I mean, LJM were grouped as 5, and it just felt like there was a lack of communication between the Millennium players. I would have understood the last engage if Tryndamere had his summoners and his ultimate up, just because I thought maybe they could get a 1 for 0, a 2 for 1 kind of trade. But I mean, Angus should just use his ultimate. There was no way it was going to be up already, so bit of an awkward kind of donate of more gold to LJM, who are now ahead by only 400 gold, but ahead nonetheless.
In tabs, I mean, looking to make really big plays there. He actually looked like he was going to get a kill, possibly even 2, and maybe just get 1 kill and get out. He was probably going to trade there, but as I said, a very well-timed exhaust there by Lasha. Kept Fizz down there, and you know, if they can keep the fish under control, who does now have a Lich Bane reasonably quickly, then they're going to be okay. But it almost feels like Millennium are just trying to, I don't know, maybe overexert their AP trend a little. But I guess it's, with the team cup they've built, they kind of wanted to win their lanes, and they didn't really. And now I guess they're kind of stuck in an awkward spot where their team comp maybe doesn't do as much as LJM's does when they grouped as 5.
Well, LJM has poke. Obviously, Caitlyn and Jace really good for sieging and poking. They also have the Nami, who has so much disengage. I mean, obviously, Playful Trickster will get over the initial effect of the tidal wave, but you know, a well-placed Q also can provide disengage there, and of course, the tidal wave will ruin everyone else's day. So, I'm a bit worried as to how team fights. I don't really know what a team fight that Millennium wins looks like in a 5v5 situation. Getting picks for sure, but 5v5 fights, I'm not sure.
Yeah, well, they get mid turret with a nice bit of grouping, and Mid King just cannot defend solo, unfortunately, despite being Jace and poking the waves from long range. Even with the blue buff, he can't spam them down hard enough, and that one's going to go over to Millennium in the mid there in terms of tower. Smeb now running away overheated, knowing that the rest of Millennium are coming to gank him, but the rest of LGIM coming to support him. They're going to collect blue buff here as well. Mid King, I think, is kind of addicted to blue buff at this point. He wants as many as he can get, and he's going to get another one here.
Wonder what his uptime on blue buff has been like this game, even though we donated 1 away.
Yeah, I mean, I think as a result, it's actually been really high. I mean, yes, it is awkward to give it away, but I think he might have gotten it back. Or at least they've definitely stolen another one, because he has had blue for a long time this game.
It's ironic because Jace doesn't need any help to charge that tier. Just changing between ranged and melee form, you know, adds a tier stack. So already a fast charge of the tier. I mean, look at this. He's already at 664 stacks of the tier.
Yeah, it's almost like he didn't think he was going to get this many blues, so he built tier. I mean, it's still good on him anyway. And you do want to spam them out if you can, so you do need the mana regen, but
you'll never have 100% uptime, so not having that 1,000 mana late game, it might, you know, stop your sieging potential when you might really, really need it.
Yeah, I mean, no one tells Nidalee to stop building mana, right? Because you just want to check the spears all day. Kind of the same principle there as Jace. Looks like Paragon taking a lot of damage with a good tidal wave there. Mainly to disengage, chum the waters onto Lasha, going to do a decent chunk of damage, but LGIM hold there, just poking them back and forth. Kind of a very obvious use about how the disengage works there with Nami's tidal wave there. Oh goodness, damage. Ace in the hole there. Does manage to get blocked there by I'm So Fresh. I don't know if Fat Mama was going to die, but Sona, a very squishy champion, does not want to risk dying there.
One thing you can say for sure with the LJM comp, it's not one you want to meet in the jungle. And any sort of choke point, Rumble is known for being massively strong. That tidal wave will just prolong the amount of time you sit in the equalizer.
Lilac's pretty fast locket here as well, actually. In fact, I don't even know if he had those Madrid's races when I last clicked on him. I'm assuming he did, but there's a small chance he didn't. But Lilac, regardless, has gotten a very fast locket of the Iron Solaria here. And that actually is a very, very good tool in sieges. And looks like Anguish is going to get himself trapped here. Spinning slashes where he can. Good Aquapist in there, just missing in there from Lasha, but Smeb's on it. He's got it. Another spin out there from Tryndamere, but Ultimate's up for Rumble. He catches Tryndamere. There's the slow coming in. Flash over there as well from Smeb. Just a little bit more damage. He's going to activate his ultimate. There it is. But Mid King's coming up as well. They've just got to delay long enough, and it's probably another dead Tryndamere. And there we are. Mid King gets the kill. And Anguish again, trying to do the split push. LGIM is completely on lockdown when it comes to that.
And it's up to the rest of Millennium's team to respond to how many people. They used 3 people, I believe 4 people to pick up that kill. And they should be able to get things. And look, here's the start of it. Tabs picks up bot turret.
Yeah. Ooh, Lilac though, thinking about going in. Actually, sorry, Cataclysm's there on top of Sona, but the rest of the Millennium there, and that's not really going to work out. The ace in the hole comes in. I'm So Fresh gets pretty low. Great ult there from Tabs and a beautiful bullet time. And that will completely crush 2 people. There's the double. Can he get the triple? And there it is, the triple kill from Fizz, and all of a sudden, Millennium went from 0 to hero there with a beautiful bit of
One-man cleanup crew.
Yeah. Janitor Fizz comes in, and again, just stunning AoE between the Misfortune and Fizz there. And I mean, we saw Tabs trying to make plays before. It didn't work last time, but definitely worked that time. And it's kind of rare to see the knock-up of Chum the Waters actually hit 2 people, but it was gorgeous to watch in that instance. And Tabs, you know, despite all the, you know, bullying in the early lane, or despite gimping himself, he's 6-2-0 right now with Lichbane plus Zhonya's.
Yeah, just, you know, Zhonya's gives him a chance to refresh his cooldowns. If he's a bit hasty with his use of Playful Trickster, he can get that initial burst and then go on and get someone else, and that's scary if you're LGIM. And it's a lot kind of relies on Lasha here. Between the exhaust, the tidal wave, and the bubble, she really needs to keep Tabs on a short leash.
Yes, just make sure Fizz does not assassinate anybody key, because really, with LGIM playing poke, they're going to want to stay back, use their range as much as possible. And Fizz can, as you noted, can negate a lot of that disengage that they have. In fact, he's coming in now. Acceleration get will get them out there, but Tabs is very, very hungry right now. The fish never stops feeding. It's a very hungry shark. Well, killer
We could
whale.
have said that however he went this game.
Yes. Isn't that wonderful? But that's a very hungry killer whale. Tabs just playful trickstering his way across the map. I notice he's very liberal with the cooldown when he has blue buff, but I suppose it makes sense.
It's massively short. I mean, 5-second cooldown on ability with the troll engage and disengage potential of that ability is it's one of the reasons why Fizz is a fun champion to play.
Yes, Sunny's as
And an
well,
infuriating champion to play against.
Yes. And look at that AoE. Just munches that creep wave.
And that's, you know, experienced Fizz players know that if you don't activate the second part of your Playful Trickster, if you only use the playful bit, then you don't then you have a AoE that's big enough to in the mid lane, for example, it covers a whole creep wave.
Wow. That's
Whereas
fairly
if you
low.
activate it, it's much, much smaller.
That is a very bizarre fact, but okay. I mean, I know you have a soft spot for Fizz in your heart, so you would have much more experience than me, and Tab certainly would have plenty of Fizz experience. But there you go, Fizz trivia.
The slow
for
also
everyone.
only applies if you don't apply it twice.
Yes.
So LJM kind of, they're not really sure where they're at this game. And that might actually work against them in the next 5.
Yeah, they had an idea. They were pushing. They were shutting down the split push. They were poking, and now Millennium are like, all right, well, our Fizz is really strong. We're actually pretty comfortable team fighting him at this point. And LGIM, they don't really want to team fight with this comp, but they have to do something because Trinity is coming in with a split push, and honestly, Millennium are happy to force 4v4 or even 4v5 if they can get a pick.
It's just one of those situations where they lost the last team fight, I believe 4v5. I know that Angus had died off separate to the team. You know, the cleanup crew came from Fizz, and what went from a very confident position, they're just kind of questioning everything that they assumed before. They don't know how much damage Fizz does exactly. They don't really know how to play against him because, of course, it can negate a lot of the peeling that Lush has been providing this tournament on the Nami. So I feel like they're kind of playing reactionary now, which is not where they were, you know, 5, 6, 7 minutes ago.
No, in fact, the split push, I mean, it's... You said that Tabs was going to take teleport regardless on Fizz, but he can actually push pretty well if he playful tricks us properly on those minion waves.
Lichbane, of course, means that he's a turret threat.
Yeah, very much so. And that teleport means he can join the party if he needs to. So even if they're split pushing all 3 lanes, Millennium will always have Fizz presence if his teleport's up. And Tabs has been down bottom lane a lot, actually. Just trying to push it in. Just be a nuisance. Because if anybody tries to 1v1 him at this point, they're probably going to die.
And that way he's kind of like an APE in team fights, and that's how it was in the previous fight. It wasn't about the cleanup necessarily, or the refresh, of course, that APE is known about, but he was there to show up late and you know, to pick off low health targets. So I guess cleanup is the right word. But when it comes to 1v1, that's where he excels. No one wants to go 1v1 against this Fizz.
No, and Tabs knows it too. He's got a blue buff. He's feeling very confident. Just walking through the enemy jungle. If he finds somebody, he's going to get a kill. Oh man, sneaking into the bushes here. Gets spotted by the golem. Decides to take it. This is what you get. Revealing my position.
Angus has picked up the death cap now, so now his heals are well out of control. 431 from the AP here.
Yeah, and Millennium with this very bizarre sort of team comp. I mean, we questioned its team fight ability, but they're doing what they can with it, I'll say that much.
They have to force something right here, because if you look down bottom, Tabs is going to get a minimum 1 turret.
Yeah, he's already pushing onto that tier 2. It's gone at this point, actually. For LJM, they decide to force down the mid lane. They're going to leave Rumble up in the top to deal with Tryndamere. And they'll just 4-man push here. But that tier 2 is gone in bottom. So, and LJM, they're not even going to scratch a turret.
And Smeb cannot 1v1 Anguish here.
No, apparently not, because Anguish is ready to go in deep. He's got his ultimate, he's spinning slashes in. He's going to be more than happy to kill Smeb here. One more spinning slash might do it. He's trying to juke, but the ultimate coming out as well from Tryndamere should spell the end here, and there it is. And a shutdown even as well for Trin. Massive.
And in the meantime, LJM forced to back. Tabs picks up 2 turrets, including an inhibitor turret, uncontested.
And now Baron.
And now they switch on to Baron, like you say.
Anguish gets out as well, spinning slash towards Baron, do what he can for DPS, and Fizz is going to stay down the bottom here. I mean, it's lose-lose at this point in terms of objectives for Incredible Miracle. If they go to Baron, they'll probably lose their inhibitor and bot. If they try and kill Fizz, then Baron's going to go to Millennium, and Baron already goes to Millennium. Tabs is pretty happy to just back off here, and if he wasn't scary before in a 1v1, now it's even worse. In fact, Midking could get himself caught here, and immediately backs off from Fizz when he sees him. We're going to chase Caitlyn down though. Tabs straight in onto Lasha. Ridiculous damage. There's the Chum the Waters out. The Paragon snags 2 of them as Tabs picks up a second kill there. And Caitlyn now as Cataclysm comes over the top. Lilac trying to do what he can for his team. The bullet time in there as well over the top as Creaton tries to get some damage in. And Smeb now getting chased down. Tabs picks it up with his dots actually. And 4 quick kills with Midking going to fall very soon. Tabs low there. Not quite picked off. Refuses to die to the Jace poke. And I think Millennium have done it with some very select picks, some trademark and some niche champions here. They've managed to engineer what looked like a kind of a terrible situation and turn it around with just some, I mean, what else did we expect, right? Some spectacular play from Tabs.
And look, it was looking fast score at one point. Every time Anguish went to split push, he was instantly killed. Now, he wasn't worth much gold. He didn't have that death cap, but once he picked up the death cap, his spinning slash and his heals was so much that no consistent DPS could hold him down. Even with Ignite Rumble, just didn't have an answer for that. And then Tabs, you know, he profited so much from that triple kill he picked up, showing up late in mid lane, that it turned a situation where, I mean, LJM are running a glorified poke comp here. They're all about sieging down a turret with Caitlyn traps, using the equalizer to get people off a turret, and then so much disengage provided just from that Nami pick. But and we always talk about poke comps when they're ahead. You know, it's super hard to play against. You kind of have to force a bad fight. They felt like they were ahead. They were happy to siege up, and then in an instant, in a Tabs triple kill, LJM lost complete knowledge of where they were at in this game. They were suddenly feeling defeated, even though at the time they were ahead in gold. So it's just, I mean, credit to Millennium. They've used their unconventional picks here. They've gotten to a point now where they can team fight and win happily. And it's looking really, really difficult for LJM to come back.
Yeah, and Millennium is still split pushing. I mean, they're going to make use of this teleport because Tabs has it. Again, nobody wants to 1v1 this guy. So if they send 2 people, then hey, he can just teleport over. Kind of like some very interesting amphibious looking Shen. But hey, if it works, it works. And that turret is very low. Tabs is going to walk up here. 1 Lichbane proc. Enough damage to kill that inhibitor turret. Millennium pressuring in mid as well. That's very low turrets in here. In fact, soon it'll be only the Nexus turrets left for LGIM. And there it goes. So all the turrets down except for the Nexus ones. Lilac going in here as Tabs comes across. Crescendo out from Sona coming in. Chum the Waters actually onto Rumble. He gets obliterated by Fizz. And it's just a killing spree right now for Anguish. Picks up 1. The triple there for Taz.
Two-shot Caitlyn there.
Wow.
He literally killed Caitlyn with an auto with Lichbane proc after using Playful Trickster.
And no, that is the power of Fizz. And it's very much one of those blink if you miss it moments, because my camera was literally just a slight screen off and I missed Tabs slaughtering everybody there at the back of that team fight.
Pastry Time, Paragon got deleted from this game.
He did. And you can't afford to have a Fizz run amok in your backline if you're playing poke. And as you said, it's got to a point where IEM just couldn't disengage, couldn't poke, couldn't push, and one very well placed Chum the Waters led to another. And Tabs,
what a seesaw Pastry though, because at the start we're like, oh man, Fizz Fizz is pretty screwed in this bottom lane, having to back early, dying at level 1. And then we saw, Tryndamere try and plan a split push, and he just kept dying. And you're like, this is almost embarrassing. And then it's such a momentum shift, and then they never look like losing.
Yeah, Tabs literally got himself killed in bottom lane. Like, I don't know what he was thinking when he teleported there, but he gave up first blood. He was like, I'm just gonna die. And he did. He teleported in and he died instantly. And
A gift.
It was a gift. I mean, as I said, it may have just been a very elegant mind game, but Tabs has to be expected from a Fizz player of his caliber. Did manage to pick up a key ultimate in there, and after that triple kill, it was just nothing but more triple kills, apparently. Tabs' Fizz bursting people so hard that it's almost impossible to catch, but yeah, that duo lane just got deleted, is probably the best word there. Even Rumble at the back of that fight to start things off towards the end just got destroyed, utterly destroyed by Fizz's damage. And Fizz is kind of a tricky champion. He's got a lot of interesting interactions. He's got a bit of a high skill ceiling. You need to know what you're doing. Everything's very different when you play him, but there's a reason people ban Fizz away from Millennium all the time. It's because if Fizz gets items, he does silly amounts of damage. And I think that was probably demonstrated best there towards the end with his last few team fights, which, frankly, with Fizz doing that well and Millennium just really engaging well, they were not even close toward the end of that game. IEM just had no answer once they started getting behind.
And Tabs was able to profit on the fact that, the only tanky member of the LJM team there was, it was Jarvan. Like, Jarvan was the only one there. Everyone else was a potential instant burst for Tabs. And that's the time when you want to play Fizz. There was no Volibear Shen at the front eating every skill shot and just having massive amounts of health. It was just squishier targets, and he dispatched them with ease.
Yeah, and that's honestly a product of playing poke. It was essentially not really double AP, I guess, but Jace is building to be poke and mainly do damage. He's certainly not a bruiser. Caitlyn obviously quite squishy. Sona very squishy, and then Rumble as an AP, he's not a bruiser. He's kind of an AP bruiser, but especially at that point before he had masses of items, there was no one. No, I don't even think Jarvan was safe from Fizz at that point, but when 4 out of 5 people in your team, as you said, are that squishy, then it's a field day for Fizz if Fizz ahead on items. And I think that was a pretty nice clinic there from Tabs and just how good his Fizz is. And I don't know if we're going to be seeing it again. I would be afraid.
So now it's time to furiously refresh to work out where the standings sit, because we are coming into the last game of our coverage here.
Yes, we are. Is that been determined exactly?
So Gambit Gaming 4-0, they are through. Fnatic 0-4, they are out. That part is for sure. Now CJ enters Blaze sitting at 3-1. Their last game is against Millennium, which I believe is the game we're going to next. Obviously, if they win there, they will come second in the group. And then it gets interesting. Okay.
So we do have Blaze versus Millennium as our last game?
I believe that's the case, unless we can see if the other game is more of a event. Obviously now the point situation is what the most exciting thing will be here.
Yep.
I believe Pain, because it'll be Incredible Miracle versus Pain and Millennium against Blaze.
I thought Pain were playing Fnatic.
That might be actually correct. Okay.
Yeah. So I think
we'll try and do some side maths here, but I believe we'll be going towards Blaze versus Millennium.
As far as the schedule that we've got concerned, I am playing Gambit on the mainstream, and we've got either Pain Fnatic or CJ Blaze Millennium, and I'm pretty sure we've got Blaze Millennium. But I guess we'll know soon. So we'll be back in about probably 5 to 10 minutes time. Hopefully not as long as the last break. That was pretty epic, but there was of course a break at the event, which was about 20 to 30 minutes long. So yeah, we'll take a quick commercial break. We'll play some music, and our last match of the evening will be coming up in just a few short minutes. So stay tuned, guys. You've been staying up for a while, so have we, but we've got one more game here for the Intel Extreme Masters first day of League of Legends here as we continue the World Championships here at IEM. Stay tuned.
like you. I love you. See you next time. Bye. Miss you.
Moss. Moss.
Weight Watchers Online clicked for me because no 2 days are ever the same. Sunday is Big Brekkie Day. Open up the cheat sheets and I can have
Nice laptop.
Thanks, it's an Ultrabook convertible.
All right, settle down. What's all this then?
It's a laptop and tablet in one.
Crikey!
Is it powered by coal and steam?
No, it's powered by Intel.
Suddenly, everything else seems old-fashioned. The Ultrabook Convertible. A laptop when you need it, a tablet when you want it.
professional-grade communication tool. The choice of professional teams. Perfect stream viewing experience. Chosen by online streamers. Easy-to-use voice messenger service. Chosen by over 12 million gamers.
Communication is always vital when competing in tournaments. Winning a match requires perfect coordination. You cannot win by yourself.
Raid Call. Communication for winners.